Good morning.
Hello. We're late as normal. We got to quit talking so much before we actually go live on air.
I know. Try to catch up in 5 minutes doesn't work.
No, it goes by really quick. I wish the rest of my workday sometimes could go that fast.
Right.
Some days it drags. Well, good morning, everybody. We got at least sunshine here in Ohio for today.
Yeah, pretty out. Cold, but pretty.
I was gonna say, I wish it was as warm as it looked. I will say we are going to leave our skeleton up, and we have already put whoops, wrong button, a Santa hat on it and a Christmas tie on our big skeleton. So somebody had asked in email, I believe, it's like, what are you doing with your skeleton? Because let me tell you, it's easier to leave them up and decorate them than it is to take it down and store it.
No, I bet.
There's a whole group for 12-foot skeleton owners, and people are sharing their ideas of how they're storing it.
Right.
Because it does not go back in the box very easy. Well, hello, everybody. So who has listened to the podcast already today?
Oh, which one is it?
Of course, you would ask that me. Hang on.
Sorry.
That's the one thing I didn't check this morning. Hunting down my hoodie because I'm cold. What's today? Today is the 9th. So today was the garden center.
Oh, okay.
Something to think about when it's warm again and you go into a garden center and think about.
Right. Ted, is Bill with you?
He's on the couch, I believe.
What?
He's on the couch.
He's on the couch?
I think so.
Because I hear somebody in the back bedroom, and it might be him.
He's over by the fireplace.
Okay. I had that one cat. He is so sneaky.
Is he getting into stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What he shouldn't be getting into?
Yeah, he has a knack of doing that.
Oh, right. Yeah, you know what? I'll have to look on my phone because she said you'll have to take a pic, and I'll have to check my text messages because Scott went and found. So what it is in that 12-foot group, somebody has suggested to go to the Dollar Tree and you get it's a chair cover that looks like a giant Santa hat, and on the back of the chair, you know, the little bobble thing hangs over, and they're like, fits his head. I'm like, perfect, we got to find one.
Wow.
So he went out and found one and sent a picture, and he hung Christmas ties on them. Looking for the psychic fair. You know what? On the 27th, and that's the last one for the year. We don't do December because everybody's burned out and just over everything at the end of December. Let's see. Well, thank you, Emily. Emily listened to the podcast this morning. You know what? When we were recording this, I kept thinking of a local garden center that I like to go to. That they'll do like the big stones for your yard, all the different types of millets and seeds for bird feeders, for squirrels, and they have a lot of fairy stuff too. And I often wondered, I'm like, what goes on in this building when the humans leave? Yeah, I'm like, huh. How many?
I would picture something like Toy Story.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. Whapping each other with their little wands.
Well, welcome back, Dawn. Hasn't been here for a while. You got plenty to go back and rewatch and listen to. Since we don't want to know what happens in the off hours.
Yeah, we probably really don't.
Well, you know what, Mary, and I think you've noticed in the store that, like, when you've had your lectures on the store side, the couple times we did it before we had the office, There's a certain point in the evening when it's like the store expects the humans to be out. That little things start popping and moving, even though you can't see what's going on. Sometimes it'll sound like somebody will take their fingers and knock down the sides of the glass cases. And I'm like, fine, we're going. Jeez.
And that's it. I think the energy in each house is on a rhythm. And you do the same thing every day. And say, so once a month you have a party or something, that's out of the ordinary. But I think everything as far as energy goes likes calm and order. And if you're out of sync, it affects everybody.
Yeah, everybody sure tells us to go. Yeah, Sandy's heard it too, and she's been there because she does book reviews with me and some of the lives, and you just they start, like, get out.
I guess we had a little goof yesterday. Ted accidentally had the date wrong for the book club. It was not last night. It is next week, Tuesday. I'm so sorry for anybody that ran to the store. And we will be there next Tuesday. And The Awake Dreamer is the book that we will be talking about. So, and I can't believe that he lives in Worcester. We lived in Worcester for years and years and years. Huh. Okay. Anyway, this is a pretty good book. So hopefully the ones that showed up last night will show up next week too.
Well, that's there's, I think, Heather. Yeah, it'll be next week.
It's a good book. It really is.
I know we have 1 or 2 orders that we are looking to ship out. Ingram, the book distributor, keeps saying that they have them, so I've ordered them for replacements. They're not coming. So I'm almost at the point now where if we don't have them by Friday, we're going to be calling me like, look, we're just refunding that for you. Normally, we've never had a problem. Of course, this is the one that...
Well, it's brand new. It's just out. I know that. But you would have thought that they would have been prepared for it.
Right.
But these people, you know, this Samantha, they've got a huge following. So you would have thought that it would have, you know, they would have printed enough of them.
Oh, thanks. We'll get it. So yeah, this is the first time I've had the issue of not having the book come on the basis as it should be. And we're getting into holiday time. So I know there are some places that are starting to bump up inventory for it, but still it should be here already.
Should be.
All right, Marianne, and you know I have to make the joke. It wasn't even Mercury retrograde and the wrong date went out on the website.
I know. I didn't say a word. Nothing.
Right. And it's funny because the staff will say it too. Like they'll say it before I do. And it's not even Mercury retrograde.
Right.
All right. We got a lot of new people. Hello. If you are brand new, you get to ask questions live. Type your questions in chat or depending on what platform you are, just type your question into the text area. And Marianne was going to answer questions about Earthbound Spirits, the TV show The Ghost Whisperer, because it was based off of her. And you did everything except direct and act in it. Like you consulted, you told them how dumb some of the storylines were,
I was in almost every year. I was in one of the episodes.
At least one. Well, all the ones I watched was never those ones.
Believe me, it was quick.
Were you just like the person in the background
walking down the sidewalk? That's right.
Okay. A quick little wave and then pop back out.
No.
Questions about negative energy, portals, fairies, sometimes depending on even aliens. So feel free to ask questions. In the meantime, we do have a podcast called When Ghosts Speak, and it is available on everything except Apple iTunes. That's a whole other gripe session. You can probably go back and hear me gripe about it. But you can listen to it everywhere except Apple iTunes. Let's see, Deborah. Whoops, here we go. Says, joining you on Zoom on the 28th to learn if she can place seats. Concerned about the door size. Garage doors an 8x18, outside doors 10x6. Will just putting them above these doors be enough to protect?
If it's a double car garage door, then you need 2 seats. And if you have a garage that has a service entrance, then yes, that needs 1 too. But remember, the seat is good for 3.5, 4 feet. So when you're placing the seeds, even people that have a double car garage, a lot of times they don't put 2 cars in the garage.
Mhm.
But you still need to put 2 seeds up over each space that if you were driving a car in, it would drive under the seat. So yeah, and that's how you would judge, how many seats you need for your garage. And make sure anything that you do outside, unless it's a totally heated and cooled garage, which is, I don't think I've ever seen, make sure you use duct tape, some kind of a heavy duty tape, because Scotch tape will just fall right off.
Karen says, my son says we have a negative spirit here. What do we need to do to get him to leave? We don't mind the other ones that we feel here.
Well, the 3 things that I suggest, the first thing is, if you are affiliated with any kind of organized religion, it never hurts to have the house blessed by an ordained priest or minister. Just do not throw holy water around, because that will make who's ever there very angry. It's okay if an ordained priest or minister does it, not a lay person. Don't talk to them. Don't scream for them to leave. All you're doing is giving them more energy. The second thing, of course, is a smudge stick. Smudging works, but it's something you have to be committed to. It has to be done every 12 to 14 days, because that's all it lasts for. And you have to make sure you get every nook and cranny, because the one place you don't get is where the spirit will be hiding. And the third thing is to have me come out, but that would be definitely a waiting list. So maybe you're better off coming on Zoom and let's finding out exactly what you've got in the house before you try removing something.
Right. So the book club starts at 7. It's the 3rd Tuesdays of the month. Depending on how well November goes is whether or not we'll carry it into January. So coming up next week, starting at 7. Otherwise, if we decide to keep going come January, then it would be once a month. Vicky says, had to laugh when I saw the sign at my local drugstore offering the flu shots. It read, walk-ins welcome.
Yeah, which walk-ins?
Well, I want to be more specified. Underneath, be like, but not the Marianne kind.
Yeah, right. And just don't pass out when you get your flu shot so you don't get a walk-in.
Right. Don't start that fear, Marianne.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Melanie asks, how often should I change my sea salt I use for estate sales?
You don't have to. Why would you change it? It doesn't lose its energy or anything. It works. I mean, if it got wet or something, but no, you don't have to change it.
Kathy says, good morning. Wondering, if a person is wearing a quince charm when they pass away, does that prevent them from remaining earthbound?
It does not, because you have free will when you're alive or dead. And it's your choice if you go into the light or not. The seed has nothing to do with it.
Let's see. Jennifer, this one's a little long, but we should have all of it showing up. Says, a man I loved committed suicide September 20th. On November 2nd, he came to me telepathically, told me he was ready to move on. I had prayed and lit candles for him daily for several months. I asked him if he had forgiven his parents as he was made a ward of the state of California at age 3. He said yes. My question is, do suicides have more trouble going into the light? Do they have to stick around a while until they deal with their childhood trauma?
No, they do not have to stick around until they deal with anything that happened in the past. And it is not harder for them to go to the light. It's there for everybody, no matter how you die. But it's usually the person that killed themselves that is hesitant to go into it because they are afraid of retribution or being scolded for killing yourself, or and in some religions that's really a big no-no. So no, that doesn't have anything to do with it at all.
Rosie asks, do you sell Bless Sea Salt?
Yes, we do. It is at the it's at the store. And what is he shaking his head? No, you don't sell Bless Sea Salt on the store side. Then you have to come to one of our events or the book club. I have it there.
Oh, it's a Wednesday, y'all.
I mean, oh my God. The next event is Sunday, December 4th. It's at the Crown Plaza in Middlebrook Heights from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. And there are only 5 spots left on that. But I've already had people come in when I am somewhere just to buy something. They don't come to attend the talk. So that's an option. And on the 17th of December, I'll be at the store with Melissa. So you guys can come in and get your Christmas gifts from the store and from us. And the Bless Sea Salt will be there also. And now I have
put it on the website.
Yeah, now I have to figure out when I get off of this why we don't have Bless Sea Salt in the store. And I'm sure he'll have 17 excuses why, but I'll figure it out.
We love you, Ted.
I mean, I have bags of sea salt here that was blessed, so I don't know why it's not there. So
Karen says, I sea salt myself, smudge, and wear my quinseed. Some people have such crazy energy to be by. Besides avoiding them, any suggestions?
No, you've got it covered. The seed is really enough, Karen. I don't think you need all of that. But, no, you've got yourself pretty well covered. Don't forget, sometimes human energy is harder to avoid than earthbound energy.
Mm-hmm. Especially depending on your job.
Oh, you've got that right.
Karen or Kathy has a very good point. You do have the Bless Sea Salt soap.
Right. And that is in the store, and that stuff is terrific. It really is.
Abby said, I had a dream once that I had died on a surgery table and I was a spirit and no one could see or hear me. Did I predict my death, or is that a different meaning of the dream?
That does not mean that you're predicting your death at all. And unfortunately, I am not a dream interpreter. So, but I know. And, think back with somebody having surgery at the time that you were close to or anticipating a surgery. Our mind works in really weird ways sometimes.
Deborah says, Melissa, you talked about watching the video about clearing your office. I can only find the audio. Where can I find the video? You can't find it anymore. It's been taken down to have the audio for the podcast. So when we announce that we're going to do live clearings, your best bet is to watch it as it's happening. Because otherwise, within minutes of hitting done and making sure it's done cycling and uploading, I go in and I make it private and I pull it down and start processing the audio for podcast. So, the Stanley one was up a little longer than it should have been because the Wi-Fi out there was a little sketchy. And even though it said it had taken it down, it hadn't. So it lived up there for like 2 days, I think, before I'm like, oh crap, why are you still here? So, yeah. And we'll let you guys know when we're going to do live clearings or walkthroughs somewhere. So you have the option to watch it live. But,
I have to tell you something. I have a very, very good friend that her husband surprised her for Halloween. and they live here in Ohio. And the surprise was, I'm taking you to the Stanley Hotel for Halloween, and we're doing the seance that night. So she called to tell me before she said yes to him if she would be protected. And she says, I'm going to tape quinces all over me. I says, one is good. You don't need two. And to make a long story short, they were not on the famous fourth floor. They were on the third floor, but they went through the tour and everything and heard pretty much everything you guys had heard. And they went to the seance, and besides wearing her quinces, she had a couple rosaries around her neck too. I guess she was being going to protect herself, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very odd. I've never been to a seance, so what do I know? But when they walked in, that table that you saw in there that they use for the seance is a huge round table.
Mm-hmm.
And when they went in, there were photographs on the table of different people that had worked into Stanley over the years. And the man that was doing the seance said that these would be the people that were going to be coming through and talking. And I have an opinion about that I'll keep to myself. But apparently 10 minutes into it, it got very, very hot in the room. I mean, hot. And she passed out. And so I think she just had an anxiety attack. And I think that's what happened. She was just anticipating the worst, and she brought it on herself. I mean, I'm sure there was nothing in there that made her pass out, except it would be easy enough to have a temperature change in a room when something like that is going on to add, ambience to the whole scenario, to make it spookier or whatever. So I really don't know. But I just wanted to say, since we brought up the Stanley, that I know somebody that was there. Didn't last very long, lasted 15 minutes, and she was taken out. But you never know.
Right. And I think I showed pictures when we talked about it. It's an enclosed room. Would not be hard to turn on a heating vent and keep it encapsulated. But we didn't pay to do the seance. We have seances in my store, like on the regular, and and they're literally those white melamine, folding tables and folding chairs, and any decor on the table. The gentleman who does it, he'll put like the little candelabras and stuff, and you can watch him and his wife like set it up, and in an empty room. So there's nothing to play tricks with. And when I was peeking, in through the doorway at this room, and I'm like, why are there floor to ceiling crushed red velvet draperies? Why are and I'm just like, there's
They
a
even
lot.
make those anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's a lot of potential trickery that can be hidden in these things, because I'm also very much a skeptic at times. For a lot that I do believe, I'm also a skeptic, which is why I make my readers interview read. And if they don't hit right with me, I might make them sit. I'm like, you stay right here, and I'll go get somebody else on staff and be like, do it again, just to make sure it wasn't just me, But I don't plan on ever going back to the Stanley.
Well, I just thought it was interesting, and it was a little Halloween thing. And like I said, seeing we were just there, and I wasn't even going to bring it up until she said something. So, but yeah, it's October. Just can't get away from October.
No. Bro, she's like, I call myself an open-minded skeptic.
That's a good way to look at it. It really is.
And her birthday's coming up, so happy birthday, Brooke.
Okay.
We had a question from Dawn. She says, I remember what Marianne said about fairies and such. My dumb question is, what about all the gnome plushies and things that seem to be all the rage this year, no matter what season or holiday? Are we attracting bad juju with the gnomes?
No, it's like little girls playing with Barbie dolls. You know what? They're not going to turn into Barbie, and I would imagine that fairies and gnomes get a big kick out of how we think they look and how they make the toys to apparently look like them. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't worry about that. It's like watching ghost stuff on TV. You're not going to get a ghost in your house because you're watching, the ghost hunters or whatever on TV. No.
Right. There was a question about where the store was. The store is in North Olmsted. And here, when we get a longer answer going, I'll make a banner and put the address up because I cannot type, read, and chat. I can't do all three at once.
Oh, really? You're leaving. I'm going to find somebody better than you.
I know. You're going to have to find a new video monitoring person. I don't know what you call what I do.
Everything.
Shenanigans. We might want to let Ted know too to fix the date and the time.
Mary Ann's website lists the next book club meeting is starting at 8 p.m. Another error, hun. It's 7. Thank you for catching that. The last one that we're probably going to do, and it's all messed up. Can you believe this? Oh, God.
It's causing chaos out the door.
Oh, my God.
Karen says, I lost my husband in July, and now I have had nightmares. Last one, I was being murdered. Son heard me screaming and came running.
Again, Karen, I am not a dream person. And, I don't know how your husband died, if it was something that was medical or, violent or whatever. Something like that could make you have bad dreams. But I can assure you, if he's earthbound, he is not in your dreams because they can't get in dreams. And if he's crossed over, you wouldn't have that kind of dream if he came in it. So it's it's totally something that your mind is doing. There would be, unless he was abusive to you when you're alive and you were still afraid of it, I don't know why you would even have a dream like that.
Mm-hmm. Where is it? Melanie says, stop picking on poor Ted.
Oh, I know. He's had a rough, let's face it, this hasn't been Ted's year. So,
I was going to say, this has not been a good year for Ted. I'm waiting for Ted to just flip the table at the book club.
Yeah, one of these days I'm done, I mean, and this is the thing. In the past 2.5 weeks, he's had 2-3 really important tests because we're continuing trying to figure out what the heck is going on with him. And can you believe we still don't have the answers to these tests? What do these doctors do if they don't check the tests? I don't understand. And you call and it's like, nope, still don't know anything. It's like, okay.
It's called practice.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Ted heard this when he was in the military, the doctors that couldn't make it in the civilian world then go enlist.
So, right, dentists and doctors.
Practice.
Yeah, that's what you hear.
So in referring to having the gnomes and whether or not you're going to have gnome chaotic energy, Sandy's making the joke about careful, the spells will come through the TV. I don't know if you heard about the whole hocus pocus and that one Christian woman was like, oh, they're casting spells on your children through the TV. Don't watch it. It's the devil. You didn't hear and see all of that?
No, I didn't. Yeah. There was a Halloween movie that when a child wore a mask, there was a tune that was played on the TV that made the kids go crazy. But I don't even remember what that movie was, but that was a movie. That's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. When you can have the remote in your hand and click it once and the TV is off, seriously, do you think something's going to come out of your TV? No.
Well, I'm so glad, Frog Lady, you were able to join us, and I hope you're feeling better and your cold goes away.
You see, when you go to a hospital, you get sick. Honest to God.
Let's see. Yeah, Jan's like the doctors make more money when they send you off for tests.
Yeah, and that would be fine, and I'd pay the money if they would tell me what the results are. You know, the pills that everybody, well, let's try these. Should he be taking those? Should he be taking them? You know, it's what are you supposed to do?
Let's see. Oh, I guess so. I heard about the whole casting through the TV for Hocus Pocus, but I guess there's also Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. Because I remember, I'm like, it's Hocus Pocus, you know, but I guess there's even a whole other thing going on with another movie.
Halloween 3.
How up I am on new movies and stuff. Yeah, Halloween 3. Hello from Valley City, right down the road from where actually my dad grew up in Valley City, Ohio.
Boy, I've done a lot of houses in Valley City.
I'm not surprised from what my dad would tell me that they would have going on in his house as a kid. And my mom, like the first time when she was dating my dad, when she went there for dinner, was talking to his dad, except grandpa had died many years before. The grandpas, you know.
I don't know what it is about Lorain County, but there's certain areas of Lorain County that are unique. Let's just say they have their own little set of things going on there. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting place. Though it seems to be east of Cleveland has all of the UFO sightings over Lake Erie. Lorain County seems to have all of the just weird ghostly stuff.
No.
Lorain
has a lot of alien stuff going on.
Really? I never see them.
You know, in all honesty, how often do you look up?
Honestly, a lot. I'm that nerd that's like, look how pretty it is, like almost every day.
Seriously, a lot of time they are right overhead and nobody looks up. Nobody ever looks up to see them.
I'm going to come to your house and start hanging out in the evening and be like, find me one.
Well, I've never seen one here where I'm living now, but Lorain County that's a hotbed. It really, actually, aside from Lake Erie, and I don't consider that, I mean, that's water, so that's not land. You know, Richland County would be second to Lorain County with aliens.
Okay. Oh, where did it just go? Somebody was like, I love your little friend behind you. It's actually boyfriend's little friend. I forget where he got it. I think somebody from his work gave it to him because they knew he liked Halloween. So he stays out year round. I don't know if he has a name. I'll have to ask him. Jen says, I live in Lorain County. Have you had weird things happen in Lorain County, Jen? Well, I mean, other than my old house, that whole little town, but that's all earthbound stuff. It was never alien, you know.
Not that started there. Not that you didn't bring home with you. Yes.
Right. And it's going to be interesting this coming Tucson visit. Because the house that I booked for that is kind of on the outskirts again, more in the mountain range rather than in the city proper. So part of me, I'm going, oh, okay, good price, good house. There's the room to bring all the stuff. And the other side of me is going, damn, aliens are going to follow you home again. And I'm like,
you have stuff now to use to protect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no.
So hopefully I don't have any.
There is a bunch of physicians that worked at one of the hospitals in Cleveland, and a bunch of the guys from anesthesiology to pediatrics to heart, a bunch of the doctors, 8, 9, 10 of them would go to Wyoming for hunting once a year. It would be one of those, I don't know, it's one of those things where you go out and you learn to be better buddies with your doctors, and I don't know, some kind of a weird thing that they practice. Anyway, they would go hunting. The one year out of 12 doctors that went, 6 brought home an alien with them. Wyoming is something, but it's wide open.
Right. Well, and my grandfather, I think every few years he'll go out that way for like moose or whatever hunting. Um and now and they live up in the mountains of West Virginia now. That's where they retired. And part of me, I'm like, what do you have going on your side of the mountain? You know, I don't go visit very often. Not because I don't love my grandparents, but like one of the times we went out, we had the tent, we're camping in the backyard, and in the morning, Papa's like, "Oh, good thing the bear didn't eat you." I'm like, "Yeah, there's no bears this close." And he's like, "Yeah, there is." And I'm like, "And you let us sleep outside with the bears."
Yeah, I wouldn't go back.
I'm not visiting anymore.
No, not unless I had a motorhome parked in the backyard.
Right. And I did a quick trip to say hello and pick up something for my mom like a month or so ago. And as we're coming in, they're like, "Oh, you want something to eat?" And he's like, "Oh, look, they were up on the porch again back here. And that darn bear did this, this, and this." And I'm like, again, why are we here?
No, leave. No. Right.
Jen, who lives in Lorain County, says, "I get the sound of someone sitting a cup on my counter once in a while, but never seen anything outside."
That wouldn't be an alien. I have to admit, aliens don't mess with stuff inside your house. They mess with you, not the stuff in your house.
So that's more likely an earthbound.
Yeah,
right?
That is not an alien. Aliens don't do things like that. Well, maybe they do that I don't know about, but I've never seen them.
Maybe for aliens like coffee.
I've never seen them eat or drink, so I don't know. I mean, they have to have something, I guess, to sustain them, but I don't know what.
Christine says, "I think a lot of people mistake them for planes, and city dwellers can't see much with all the lights. We see it all out here in Geauga County."
Well, and you're right. The farther away you are from the lights, the better. And it's really weird. You would think that it would be easiest to find them on a dark moon when it's dark outside, because you could see them more. Like, it's easier to find falling stars when it's dark outside and not a full moon. But the next time you have a full moon out, which was just Tuesday with the eclipse, which was yesterday, that's when you look for them. Surprisingly enough, when it's brighter outside is when you do see them more, but you think they are something other than what they are, because it's so bright outside from a full moon. So don't necessarily look when it's a dark moon. Look when it's a bright moon.
A full moon. And Abby says, "I believe I have an earthbound spirit in my house. I've heard him a couple times. My daughter has seen it once, and he makes himself known every chance he gets."
Boy, see, I don't like when they mess with kids. You sound like you need to come on a Zoom and let's see what's going on in the house and give you some suggestions on what to do to get rid of it. That doesn't, ghosts that mess with kids and animals make me crazy. So.
Vangela asks, "Marianne, do you get some vibe?" And she corrected, vibe, when aliens are around.
I can hear it's a different noise. It's a noise that I can hear when aliens are around. It's a very loud, piercing noise. Now I hear a noise when I talk to somebody on the phone if they've got fairies or little folk around too, and that noise isn't as disturbing as an alien noise. That noise is
it's very unsettling. Like it's clearly a noise, because I heard it that one time that I got woken up with it.
My teeth are just hurting right now. It's almost like listening to chalk on a chalkboard. It's
like metal shrieking, grinding on metal. you will not mistake that noise for anything comforting, relaxing. Like there's nothing. All it is alarming. Is what
Right. And if you just have aliens around, I can hear that noise. Now, if you've got a probe in the property that you live on from them or in yourself, then this is even more annoying. It's that high pitched noise and it goes, stops, goes, stops. It's like beep, 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 beep. And it's like, oh my God, it makes you crazy. But so it's two different, it's like, it's just weird the way, but like I said, Lorraine County is a little hotbed.
Yeah, my old house, like across the street, was a granary, grain elevator. And my first thought when I woke up to that noise was I thought it was collapsing in on itself. Like all that metal was just twisting and shrieking and falling. And I hurried and looked out outside. Nothing's moving. And then all of a sudden it just stopped. You know, so I'm like, it's hard to describe. But for me, it was like just metal, just wrenching. And it was not a pleasant sound. Haven't heard it since, and I'm quite glad for that.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say I sleep better, but no, I don't, and too much work. But
Yeah.
I sleep better once they went away. And I think it was Karen. She's like, "Yep, alien trip to Marianne's house. So we're all going to come to your backyard, and we're all going to."
But this isn't the place they're at.
You know what? We could probably skip. Should I say this?
Here we go. Here we go. I hear her brain going.
That's how quick it works.
Yeah.
Pick a metro park where they allow you to stay. There's some in the Cuyahoga County that will allow you to be out there till like 11 o'clock at night, and it's getting darker quicker. And everybody just meets, and we all stare at the sky and go, Marianne, what about that one?
So this is what you want to do when it's this cold outside and we're getting ready for snow? Yeah, no. Why don't we wait till spring to think about that? To think about it.
Knit socks because I wear them to bed. Let's see. Why would an alien follow someone home?
You know, I don't know what their criteria is for what they need from a human. I mean, they obviously take samples and blood and spit and who knows what else they take from us, but I don't know what they do with it. Does anybody know what they do with it? I don't know. I don't know.
Points and Ghouls says, can spirits, or asked, not says, can spirits smell and taste? That would suck if you couldn't taste delicious food.
And you're right. They can smell it, but you're right. They don't eat or sleep. And so that is one of the biggest downfalls, I believe, to being earthbound, especially if you're a foodie, because to be able to go into any restaurant anywhere in the world that you want to because you're earthbound, but you can't taste one thing. That would be hell.
Brooke says, Wyoming, come for the team building, stay for the aliens. Don't want to stay? No worries. An alien will follow you home.
Right. And team building, thank you. That's exactly what those doctors do. I knew it was some kind of a thing.
And then Melody says, how do you know you brought an alien home with you?
Oh, that's your story, not mine.
Honestly, like it didn't dawn on me for about a week. It just wasn't sleeping well. And I thought the travel, the stress, waiting for the stuff to come, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't until that night, I do not sleep on my back because I always feel like I'm just not comfortable. I'm a side sleeper. And I was woken up out of a sleep because it felt like, sorry, that's a dog, falling. And like I actually bounced on the bed on my back, and as I was waking up from that, I heard that noise, and I'm like, what is that? Still didn't put it all together until I forget, Marianne, I don't know if it was a conversation I had with you but all of a sudden like the light bulb went off and I went, I wonder. And then that's when I talked with you and you're like, yep. And I'm like,
this is the thing, now because of these Wednesday things and the Zoom and all that, I get more, some of this stuff you do from where you live. But back then, we weren't doing all of this. I'd never hardly ever talked to you from your house. I talked to
Right.
you from the store, from an event, when you're driving. But when we're finally done in the evening, we're done and we don't call each other and talk. And until I got to talk to you from when you were in the house, I had no clue. So,
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how I figured it out.
See, I almost think, and doctors are a good example too. I think they follow people home that they think they can get information from that would help whatever it is they're doing to study us. Like, let's face it, you have a very strange job. You go out into the desert and pick up stones and bring them home. Why? You know what I'm saying? And
They're pretty.
you would be somebody that I could see an alien, whether from another planet or another country, would think, that is some lady. I got to see what the heck what is she doing with all those rocks? And so you would be something. Doctors, and especially, they have to have some kind of medical knowledge to be able to probe humans. So maybe by following doctors, they get better information. You know what? I don't know. I don't think they're here to destroy the world or eat us, at least not all of them. But I think there's good and bad with everything.
Right. So now there's the question a couple times over in chat, like, how do you protect yourself from aliens following you, deciding like you're the one they're gonna take home or go home with?
See, that would have to be a trip to Loch Ness.
All right, we got to go visit Lewis.
It's the only thing that I know that will stop them. And I don't have, I don't have enough of what you would need to help a lot of people. So it's just not going to happen. And the idea of going to Loch Ness, yeah, right. Does anybody know? Becky, do you know anybody that is close to Loch Ness with your relatives and over there? You have to let me know.
See, everybody's in for the field trip to.
Yeah, to Loch Ness. Okay.
And everyone's like, "Yep, alien spotting with Marianne."
Now
We're not going to do the whole haunted thing anymore. We're going alien.
We're going aliens now. Great, great.
She Ready says, my brother can randomly point out UFOs that we can all see. He's done it for years in Houston. Isn't that like another hot spot area?
Yeah, it is. And that's now, I really, really think that a lot of the alien, why it's so much of it in Houston or Texas in general, is because of the drilling. I don't know what it has to do with it. And I think that's where we're having problems when they're putting up these things in the water for electric, the whirly whirls, the what are those things called that they put out there for electric
the windmill
type things. Yeah. I don't think, and I think the more that they try to put them in large bodies of water, I think you're going to end up having more trouble with aliens then, because I really think there are a lot of aliens that are in water.
Karen.
Oh,
says, I wonder if aliens reject your DNA in specimens when they realize it's from an idiot.
Yeah, I wonder. No, don't need this one. Yeah.
Right.
We're not cloning this one. Forget it.
Find the rest of that genetic line and set it off the table.
Right.
And Dawn says we must taste like chicken to the aliens.
Everything tastes like chicken, right?
And Shar says aliens probably have the largest DNA base on humans.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, if you think about it, like how humans, like they do experiments on all sorts of animals and keep all that information. There's that food seed bank. I think it's in Denmark, where they have purposely kept seeds of every plant and every type of food to where if something like a mass extinction, like
Right. We
the
have
seed
something to
of
go back
corn,
to, right? And that
so
does exist. That is for real.
yeah, you can look it up. I think it's Denmark.
Yeah, it's for real. That really, I mean, what are they planning that we don't know about?
And I'm sure there's aliens in DC.
Alive and dead.
Right. It says the space program wouldn't have anything to do with it. Because Space Force.
You know what? I all I can figure out is that when they send something up in the sky like that, they're sitting back going, "Look at the fools trying again." I just I bet we are like infants compared to what they can do. I mean, we know nothing compared to what they know.
Duke's got a buddy in Scotland.
Whoa, really? Does he live close to Loch Ness? Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Rebecca says she
Please,
can
definitely
so
ask.
between Becca and Duke, maybe
I might be able to get some of the stuff I need to hand out for that. That would be so nice if I could get my hands on that stuff.
Oh, thank you. These are actually brand new. So hopefully they'll be up on the website soon, but they're for sale in store. I wanted the logo to look like the what is it, whiskey or something? I don't drink it, but Jack Daniels. But it's just
It does look like a
it's the store info. Mm-hmm. So, and I always get extra large. I want all of me to fit in the hoodie if I curled up on the couch because I like big hoodies. Cool. He's going to check for us.
Thanks, Duke.
Karen, come to the store, hun. I've got them for sale in the store. I haven't gotten them up online yet, but they will be soon. There's also t-shirts with this print on it. She's really wanting me to play tug of war. So
yeah, I hear her
my attention.
shaking her chain. Right.
Yeah. If you see me just like get yanked off screen,
that's why Bunny's at it.
She's strong. Let's see. Yeah, Duke said he used to live in the UK and felt like the spirits were everywhere.
Oh yeah, Europe is really, really full of them. Well, they're older than we are.
Mm-hmm.
Just stands to reason.
Let's see. Witchy Woman asked, do you have any info about hybrid aliens that we hear about? Can you tell if there really are? Or are they hybrids easily?
I do not know that. No. I know I've seen 3 different types, but I don't know which are which. Or I mean, the grays and the greens and the big heads with the long arms. There's all different kind, but I don't have enough knowledge on that. I don't know enough.
And then the question is, why Loch Ness? What happens there?
I don't know what. I mean, I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that I believe there really truly is a Loch Ness monster. I really believe that there is some kind of a thing in the water like that. And I believe it's alien. And I think it's something that fights the bad aliens. And that's why what I have very little left of seems to protect people from them. So
long live Nessie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, even the Great Lakes is supposed to have its own water.
Yeah, but I'm not
Lake Erie doesn't repel the aliens. If nothing else, it seems.
Yeah, I don't know. No, and with the salt mines under Lake Erie, I don't think so. I don't think there's any serpent type critter in Lake Erie. I don't believe that.
Yeah, because there's a few other large lakes, bodies of waters that are supposed to have these lake monsters, and they all look pretty similar. And then there was one theory that it's like one or two that can like dive down underneath and just keep popping up wherever.
Wherever they want, right. You know, in warm waters, they're almost more visible down there around isolated islands. People seem to see them down there more. But and it has to be, the only thing I can figure out is the energy. I mean, we all give off energy. Anybody that plants give off energy. Anything gives off energy. And so I'm thinking that whatever, like you say, Nessie does in that water, just all the gravel, the water itself. I mean, I've got jars of the water and some of the stones, and there's some really weird stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, like I said, well, I'm not going to be able to have water sent to me because you're not going to bring that over. But where the water hits the beach, there's a lot of gravel and stuff there. Those stones all have energy in them that will protect. There are some stones that have very distinct shapes, very distinctive shapes. And they say those stones, well, they're stones now. I don't know what they were. Maybe they're petrified now. But the stones, they say, are from parts that have fallen off Nessie. Now, not the regular stones, but these very specific stones. All I know is that they work. I don't know.
Yeah, they almost look like parts of little knobby joints.
Yeah, like toe joints or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I was calling them forever, like a toe joint. But if you look at how big this thing is supposed to be, haha, there was no way this could be a toe. It isn't big enough. But I don't know. It just so. I mean, stones from around the lake. I don't know.
Brooke's like, I like big hoodies and I cannot lie. And Christine's, yeah, thanks, Christine. I forgot you did get one. So we had to get another round in. I ordered some for like the staff, and there were like a couple extra, and I'm like, just put them out on the floor, and like they were gone within a few hours. I'm like, oh well, I guess people want hoodies of this.
Yeah, this is the time of the year.
If it likes big hoodies and you can't outlie, you other hoodie lovers can't deny that when listens to the comfy fluffy hoodie in your face, you get jealous.
Oh, here she goes. Look at her.
And you know what song that is, right?
Right. So, are you a rapper too, Melissa? Can you rap?
That particular song. Let's see. Yeah, and so the location we think is tied because of the whole thing with Nessie. So be it the being himself, or
I think it's the critter itself. I really do. I think it just happens to be the lake he fell into, or grew in, or whatever.
Yeah. So, and then Lori, where'd it go? It just bumped up. Lori's like, reminds me of Lake Erie and those L and J stones.
Right.
So I wonder, like, if there's anything those stones, from Lake Erie, like what they might.
I don't know. I've got two of the J stones that somebody gave me. I've never seen the L, but I've got two of the J's, and I never felt anything particularly strong on them. I can feel the energy from the stuff from Loch Ness, so I don't know about Lake Erie. I really don't.
You would think, having lived here, I would know more, but who's got time to look up random stuff that's around you all the time? Somebody put in the suggestion to look up pics of fossil from Loch Ness, and now I'm like looking that up real quick just to see if that's what these.
They have pictures of the stones, you think?
So yeah, I said look up pics of fossil horn coral for the stones around Loch Ness. So I typed it in images. And these are what's coming up.
Oh, that's it?
So fossil horn coral.
That's exactly that's the strong ones, the ones that look like that. Those are the ones that I called toes because I didn't know what else to call them.
Yeah, so these
And I
stones.
gave you one of those, Melissa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the one you gave me looked more like this one up
That
here.
one, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
So if Duke can find anything like that, oh yeah. I mean, I'll pay for the shipping, believe me. And here I
oh,
get a pallet with 2 tons of stones on them, right?
you're stepping up into my world now with stones on pallets. Dawn says, I helped my old kitty cross the Rainbow Bridge this past June. He visited me in one of my many dreams last night. He looked big and healthy, just like he was when he first came over.
Aw, isn't that great when you get a dream like that? That's perfect. That's exactly what happens.
Linda says, yes, there are quite a few alien monsters that have been dropped off on this planet. Check out the podcast I mentioned above. The info comes right from this spirit of compassion.
I believe that. I think that there are aliens, half-breed aliens walking among us, just like I think that a lot of angels are earthbound and they walk among us too.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get them up there in the next couple days. The challenge is now getting a good picture of the
front.
shirt. Yeah. So give me a couple days. We'll get them up there. I didn't realize they were going to be this popular. I was like, yeah, the shirts we'll worry about. It's been the hoodies that everybody wants. Let's see. What time are we at? Oh, we're already over 11. So, Marianne, so book club is next Tuesday at
It is.
7.
It is at 7. Yeah, here it is, the Awake Dreamer. So, and again, I am sorry for those who showed up last night. Believe
Yeah.
me.
So, if you are not able to come in person for whatever reason, you can catch the book club and participate just like you're doing right now for this live, because we're going to stream it live. You'll be able to ask the questions, be a part, hear us, and those in person asking and answering questions. She's just being a goober.
Okay.
So you can join us that way if you're not local or work's just making it too hard to get here in person. Join us on the stream. Otherwise, we do this every Wednesday morning if you're brand new and this is your first time stopping in. So every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Now the Zooms. There was one space left for the 11th, this coming Friday. It starts at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go until everybody gets their questions asked, and then once we're done, we're done. So please be mindful of that. If you are out of our time zone, please be sure to adjust to match up at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Here is the link if you would like to sign up. This is great if you have little ones having problems with ghosts. If you're having problems with a ghost in your house, come find out exactly what's going on. You can ask if you have a portal, if you have negative energy. Newbies, first timers get to go first. Repeats wait to the end. Because sometimes they've already been on before. They put their seeds up and they just want to know if they're good to go, and then they hop right off. What else about the Zoom? Otherwise, the 28th will be the next one.
Yeah, it would have been on the 21st, but that's the same week as Thanksgiving. So we thought we'd push it off to the following Monday just in case people are busy getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Right. That's a big undertaking. And there's a lot of people sometimes and a lot of energy coming in with them. And maybe we need to find out afterwards what might be still lingering in the house now that a bunch of people left. Yes, please, everybody. My little band of helpers reminding to like and share. How do we join the stream for the book club? Just like what you're doing right now. So come to the YouTube and just watch and chat just like you're doing now. Same place, just different day and time. Please make sure you like both of our channels. Marianne Winkowski on YouTube, Goddess Elliot on YouTube. And you can find the book club on either one. It'll be on both places. let's see.
The podcast you can find the same way on both of our places.
Yeah, we've got links to listen to it in both places. I should also have, hang on, let me not lie. There it is. Too many things. There's a direct link to the podcast. So you can go there and listen to all the old episodes. But it is available on Audible for free, Amazon Music for free. It's free everywhere. We have not made it to where you have to pay to listen to it. So it's everywhere except Apple. And I'm sure if you go back and watch it, you'll hear me complain about it because it's just Apple. And Christine Burke says, or if you want a fun evening, Zoom is entertaining.
Well, people say it's better than TV, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. And right, Brooke, When Ghosts Speak is the name of the podcast. So
Right.
I even use the image from the book by Marianne, When Ghosts Speak, just to make it even more obvious that it's the right one. So it matches the book cover. Same name, same artwork. Yep, that's what you'll see when you're looking for it. So
What's going on with Twitter now that?
get your aunt to sign up.
Yeah, definitely. Now that this man bought Twitter, are we staying on Twitter? Because apparently he's going to be charging now.
Like it's streaming on Twitter right now. I don't know if anybody's watching from there. As I look over, nope, nobody's even watching from Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So I may not even worry about it. I don't think Twitter's ever been a big thing for us anyway. I just put it there just in case.
Okay.
But yeah, you can watch these lives. You can join in on the book group. And when we do clearings, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch are always the ones being done. So you can find us on any of those. I kind of make it hard for you to not find us. We're on all the things except Instagram because you have to have a whole separate camera for that, and that's just too hard. Or TikTok because again, separate camera required. They don't allow you to feed in with streaming software.
See, it's like that commercial. We drive you happy.
Well, we were glad you could join us, Dawn. She played hooky from work and joined us here. So, and listen at work.
Thank you so much for everybody coming on, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Stay safe, everybody. Join us for book club if you can, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.